This evening, Guyana hosts inaugural oil and gas law conference. Plaisance NDC chairman responds to community's complaints. Natural Resources Minister defends rush to first oil. And we bring you headlines from the region and beyond.
From Safe TV headquarters in South Bradford Gardens, this is Safe TV Headline News with George Gonzalez.
Today is Friday, March the 9th, 2018, and this edition of Headline News is now being streamed live on our YouTube channel. Thanks for joining us. Legal luminaries call for Justice Yonette Cummings Edwards to be confirmed as Chancellor of the Judiciary at today's inaugural Oil and Gas Law Conference. Here's Wendell Jeffrey with that story.
Oil and gas is one of the most important sectors that a country can be blessed with developing. If properly developed, it has the potential to rapidly transform the economy of a country like Guyana. This can be the biggest opportunity that this country has been blessed with.
Today, gathered at the Ramada Princess Hotel was the largest ever assembly of some of the most notable legal luminaries in Guyana.
Honorable Acting Prime Minister of Guyana and the Minister of Public Security, Mr. Kemraj Ramjutan, Honorable Chancellor of the Judiciary, Madam Justice Yonette Cummings, Honorable Speaker of the National Assembly, Dr. Scotland, Honorable Minister of Natural Resources, Mr. Raphael Trotman, Honorable Minister of State, Mr. Joseph Harmon, Honorable Chief Justice, Madam Justice Roxanne George, Vice Chancellor of the University of Guyana, Professor Ivelaw Griffith, Deputy Vice Chancellor of the University of Guyana, Professor Barbara Reynolds, Honorable Justices of Appeal, Mr. Justice Deo Rishi Prasad, Madam Justice Dawn Gregory Barnes, Mr. Justice Rafi Khan, Senior Counsel, and Justice Christopher Bulkan. Honorable Justices of the High Court, Mr. Justice Brassington Reynolds, Mr. Justice James R. Bovell Drakes, Mr. Justice Franklin D. Holder, Madam Justice Diane F. Insinali, Madam Justice Joanne Barlow, Madam Justice Sandra Kurtzis, Mr. Justice Navindra Singh, Madam Justice Priya Sunarayan Bihari, Mr. Justice Nareshwar Harnanan, Mr. Justice Sandil Kisoon, Mr. Justice Gino Prasad, Madam Justice Damon Young, and Madam Justice Simone Morris Ramlal. Honorable Commissioners of Title, Magistrates all, Senior Counsel in attendance, the President and the Council of the Guyana Bar Association, Registrars, Deputy Registrars, members of the Bar.
Hundreds of legal minds from Guyana and across the Caribbean will be having an inaugural meeting over the next 2 days to discuss oil and gas law in Guyana. The program is the brainchild of Acting Chancellor of the Judiciary, Yonette Cummings Edwards, and the program was chaired by Attorney at Law Devendra Kisoon.
On behalf of the members of the Judiciary and the Guyana Bar Association, we welcome you all to the first ever Guyana Oil and Law Training Development Conference held here today at the Ramada, Guyana.
Bar Association President Kamal Ramkaran said that the knowledge of how oil and gas works could only benefit Guyana.
The more we know and care about the legal aspects of the oil industry and how the implementation of those aspects affects us as the owners of our natural resources, the more serious we can take our responsibility.
Guyanese-born Alicia Elias Roberts works in the Faculty of Law at the University of the West Indies, St. Augustine, Trinidad. She is a doctoral student in energy and environmental law and was instrumental in organizing this conference.
I was re-energized with the news that Guyana had some significant oil discovery in the offshore area. Like many of you, that was sweet music to my ears. So I'm a proud Guyanese and happy to be here to assist and share in the knowledge.
Acting Chancellor of the Judiciary, Justice Cummins Edwards, gave a riveting presentation for the reason she envisaged this conference. However, prior to her presentation today, the chairman, Attorney Kisoon, made a call that now seems to be the mantra of most Guyanese.
And I'm sure all of you would join me in supporting the proposition that our learned acting chancellor should be made chancellor.
In support of the chairman's proposition, when Justice Cummins Edwards rose to speak, she got an unparalleled lengthy standing ovation.
I picked up a textbook recently on the law of oil and gas. And the first chapter that I read, the first paragraph as a matter, began this way. Petroleum is a generic name for certain combustible hydrocarbon compounds found in the earth. And it went on. In addition, impurities are often associated with petroleum, the sulfur compound that contaminates sour gas and oil is one, and these should be removed prior to marketing the product. And I was about to put down the book, but then I remembered the words of Shakespeare, that cowards die many times before their deaths, and that ambition is made of sterner stuff. Then I realized that the topic of oil and gas law really has a lot to do with a multidisciplinary approach.
The conference was also addressed by Minister of Natural Resources, Attorney Raphael Trotman. For Channel 2 Headline News, I am Wendell Jeffrey.
Thanks, Wendell. The Ministry of Social Protection, Department of Cooperatives, in collaboration with the Guyana Cooperative Credit Union League Limited, recently held a workshop for local credit unions. The workshop addressed the obligations of credit unions as reporting entities under the Anti-Money Laundering and Countering the Financing of Terrorism Act. According to the Act, all reporting entities are required to appoint a compliance officer who will be responsible for ensuring the requirements of the Act are met. The entity is also responsible for establishing internal policies and control systems to implement the same. It is mandatory that each entity obtain documents of identification from its customers, as well as establish and maintain proper records. During the workshop, demonstrations were given on how to properly fill relevant forms such as threshold transactions, suspicious transactions, and terrorist property. Participants were given an explanation of the importance of compliance with the AML-CFT regulations and an overview of the role of the Financial Intelligence Unit. In a previous newscast, we featured the grievances of several persons in the East Coast Demerara village of Plaisance. They complained about the state of their community's infrastructure and the seemingly uncaring nature of their neighborhood democratic council. Yesterday, Esther Sober spoke with the chairman of the Plaisance Industrial NDC for a response to the villagers' complaints.
The residents in Raymond and Graham Street in Plaisance, East Coast Demerara, are upset about the state of the village roads and bridges. They also took the issue to the perceived sluggishness of the local Neighborhood Democratic Council to find solutions. In an interview with Channel 2 Headline News, Chairman of Plaisance Industrial NDC, Pastor Clifford Zamet, responded to the criticisms.
I understand that you were seeking to find out why the roads are the way it is, and the bridges. I'm certain you would have seen them. And I would want to say first and foremost that what is important in all of that is money. We depend on the citizens to pay rates and taxes, and that has not been coming forth as we would like to see it. I mean, that is the fact. In fact, since I've become the chairperson of the community, we've had one town hall meeting. We went out trying to meet folks, also encouraging them to pay up their rates and taxes, because that's the only way we can do work. So bottom line to all of this is if we don't have funds, then we can't do the work.
The community's issues may be old, but Pastor Zemet is new to the job. He has only been the chairman for 40 days. He asks for patience from the villagers as the NDC is trying to sort out roles and duties of its members.
The next thing is that we've had some hiccups along the way in terms of administrative problems, determining who does what. In fact, today I had a meeting with the region in which we're trying to sort out who does what, and we're still at loggerhead in terms of determining where we go from here. Until they can accept the fact that the Democratic Council, the Neighbor Democratic Council, runs the area, the council runs it, then we're going to have problems. If we're going to have that kind of interference, then we'll have problems.
Zamet noted that the cost to repair one bridge will cost 200,000 Guyana dollars. Nonetheless, the Castrop NDC will soon commence work in the village.
One meeting we've had so far, we did indicate that we wanted the bridges done. We asked the overseer to come up with which one she would have done first of all. In the meantime, we're negotiating with the region. But we're going to work on that. I'm certain in this month some work is going to begin on some of the bridges. I'm certain of that. Okay. With the roads, we'll have to get, most roads are done with crusher run until you can get the Ministry of Infrastructure or someone to come and work with what we're going to do in which roads. But we are looking at those roads to be done.
Despite the many challenges within the NDC, the newly elected chairman said that he will work tirelessly to get the job done in the community.
I believe in prayer, and I know God changes things. I have no doubt, absolutely no doubt, that today after we finished talking, I realized that they were not going to change and follow the suggestions we made. All I can do is put it in the hands of God, and I know that we'll see some activity. God never fails.
For Channel 2 Headline News, I'm Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. Economic advisor to the People's Progressive Party, Dr. Peter Ramsrup, urges the government to apply for an official credit rating, saying, "What Guyana needs as a matter of urgency is an official credit rating where, as a country, its resources and economic standing can be leveraged to target high-end financing. This is the only way to accelerate Guyana's development into the 21st century." The discovery of oil in Guyana's waters has some unexpected consequences, one of which is that the nation now has lost the ability to access many grants, loans, and other forms of financing at concessionary terms in the short to medium term. Given the established value of the nation's petroleum deposits, Guyana is no longer considered a heavily indebted poor country, but rather a medium-income nation, leading lenders such as the IMF and the CDB to change its economic assessment of the nation. After the break, Minister Trotman defends the rush to first oil, and Plaisance residents complain of water quality issues. Stay with us.
The Billion Souls Guyana Incorporated presents its third conference for pastors and leaders at the Princess Ramada Hotel, East Bank, Demerara, on Tuesday, March 13th and Wednesday, March 14th, 2018, from 9 a.m. sharp to 4 p.m. at an unbeatable cost of $15,000 per person. With speakers Reverend Ijaz Nabi of the USA, Dr. David Sabrapina of the Philippines, Dr. John Smith of Guyana, Dr. Kirsch Darville, and Dr. Burton Lockhart of the Bahamas. Teaching in these exciting topics: unreached people groups, strategic church, becoming a kingdom-minded leader, how to plant a church in a global city, prayer and fasting, doing church in multiple locations, everyone in ministry, and synergizing apostolic movements. It's going to be 2 days of synergizing, systematizing, and strategizing. So you got to be there. Registration are as follows.
Ride around town and beyond? Look no further than Oasis Ride taxi service. With affordable prices and some of the best drivers in the business, we've been delivering prompt and reliable service to Guyana for over 16 years. We also offer tours, chauffeur service, and even car rentals. You can call us at 231-5554 or 225-5496. For deals, specials, and more information, find our page on Facebook, Oasis Ride Taxi Service. That's it. Welcome back. Minister of Natural Resources, Raphael Trotman, claims that Guyana's rush to first oil was strategic in nature. Wendell Jeffrey has more in this report.
Firstly, the contract with Exxon is no different in any material particular from the contract that Repsol has, which is a Spanish company, from the contract that CGX has, from the contract that Ratio has, which is a company registered in Tel Aviv, from the contract that SA Nabi has, a local company, from the contract that JHI has. All of these are contracts given out prior to the change of government.
Minister of Natural Resources Raphael Trotman was the featured speaker at today's inaugural Oil and Gas Law Conference at the Ramada Princess Hotel. The minister took time to review the timeline of Guyana's brief oil and gas history. Minister Trotman even brought a vial of the crude oil and invited those gathered to smell it.
I have in my hands a test tube of some of that oil. But if some of you wish to smell it, it is high quality crude and it smells just like the diesel that you put in your vehicle.
Trotman asked those in attendance to be cognizant of the fact that Venezuela's most recent claim to Guyana's waters was made on the very day President David Granger was inaugurated.
Pause, because I ask you to consider that fact very, very keenly in your deliberations over the next 2 days. Because Venezuela claimed the Liza well as theirs on the 26th of May, 2015.
Trotman explained to the audience that the contract between Guyana and Exxon was not renegotiated, but rather updated.
On June 27, 2016, the companies and the government of Guyana executed an updated production share agreement, and I use the word updated because when the government changed in 2015, a decision was taken not to renegotiate, but rather to respect the sanctity of contract. What obtained in the 1999 agreement was the same as that which obtains in the 2016 agreement. Bearing in mind, as I said, the government took a decision that it did not want to go the route of changing or attempting to change.
The minister also explained the reason for the Granger's administration's unwillingness to renegotiate the contract. He said that they did not want to give the international community the impression that Guyana is a jurisdiction that changes the rules in the middle of the game.
Exxon did not bring a contract to Guyana and say to us, take this. We used the updated model that the GGMC and the government of Guyana had in place and was already advertised on their website to do the updating.
Trotman said that from ExxonMobil alone, in the next 4 years, Guyana, on a daily basis, will be producing some 440,000 barrels of oil.
On or about 2022, the expectation is that a second vessel, a larger vessel, will come on stream, and we will move to the second stage of the Liza development, that is Liza 2, and we will produce from a second FPSO 220,000 barrels. So by the year 2022, Guyana will be producing a maximum of 340,000 barrels of oil.
The Natural Resource Minister said that limiting the paperwork and getting Exxon to begin drilling was a strategic decision.
Important for Guyana to move the production as quickly as possible so that it could assert, when we got to port, that production was taking place within the territorial waters of Guyana. That would become an indisputable fact before a court of law.
For Channel 2 Headline News, I am Wendell Jeffrey.
Thanks, Wendell. On Thursday, University of Guyana Vice-Chancellor Professor Ivelock Griffith confirmed that Guyana is one step closer to having a new law school. The university's council had recently made the decision to allocate 10 acres of land to facilitate the construction of the J.O.F. Haynes Law College of the Americas. According to Legal Affairs Minister and Attorney General Basil Williams, key stakeholders of the projects have already acquired a building plan. The construction of the proposed 3-floor, 50,000 square foot facility is estimated to cost around $6 million US. Recently, Jamaica's Minister of Education, Youth and Information, Ruel Reid, had welcomed the joint venture partnership to establish a new law school in the Caribbean. The move, which involves collaboration among the government of Guyana, the University College of the Caribbean, and the Law College of the Americas, will facilitate access to enhanced legal education for a wider cross-section of qualified persons. The new institution is expected to be one of the largest law schools in the region. Graduates of the Bachelor of Law programs at the UCC LCA law faculty, as well as graduates from other law faculties across the Caribbean, will be given priority admission to the planned 2-year program, effective September 2017. Poor road maintenance was not the only complaint of those living in Plaisance. Esther Sobers tells us that according to the residents, something stinks, and it may just be the water.
GWI, yesterday I went there to pay, and they're asking me about the quality of the water. I said the quality of the water is horrible. You can't wash white clothes, you can't drink it, you can't do anything. Nothing proper you can do with this water. You got to be buying water to do what you have to do. So I don't know, we need something better.
For years, residents in Plaisance have complained of the quality of water provided by GWI.
Bad water, dirty water, muddy water some days, no water. Well, not that I'm aware of. Not that I'm aware of. But every time you go to pay, you make a complaint.
The residents also claim that the discolored water also have a strong stench.
For years now. All the time, and it's rank.
Residents of Plaisance are not the only ones dissatisfied with the quality of water they receive. In a previous newscast, Houston residents expressed the same sentiments. Nonetheless, GWI had issued a statement on the 21st of February citing limited funds, among other factors, as cause of the discolored water in various communities. Quote, improvement in the quality of water provided to citizens are as well as an increase in supply is dependent on as much needed revenue to finance the upgrade of an aged infrastructure, build human resources capacity, and purchase the requisite equipment and chemicals to treat the water. End quote. Reporting for Channel 2 Headline News, I'm Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. Join us after the break for your regional news, international news, and more. Need a ride around town and beyond? Look no further than Oasis Ride Taxi Service. With affordable prices and some of the best drivers in the business, we've been delivering prompt and reliable service to Guyana for over 16 years. We also offer tours, chauffeur service, and even car rentals. You can call us at 231-5554 or 225-5496. For deals, specials, and more information, find our page on Facebook, Oasis Ride Taxi Service. Let's go.
I know who I am. I know who I am. I am yours. I am yours. I know.
The Billion Souls Guyana Incorporated presents its third conference for pastors and leaders at the Princess Ramada Hotel, East Bank, Demerara, on Tuesday, March 13th and Wednesday, March 14th, 2018, from 9 a.m. sharp to 4 p.m. at an unbeatable cost of $15,000 per person. With speakers Reverend Ijaz Nabi of the USA, Dr. David Sabrapina of the Philippines, Dr. John Smith of Guyana, Dr. Kirsch Darville, and Dr. Burton Lockhart of the Bahamas. Teaching in these exciting topics: unreached people groups, strategic church, becoming a kingdom-minded leader, how to plant a church in a global city, prayer and fasting, doing church in multiple locations, everyone in ministry and synergizing apostolic movements. It's going to be 2 days of synergizing, systematizing, and strategizing. So you got to be there. Registration are as follows.
Welcome back. BB Bacchus now brings us the top regional and international headlines of the day.
Several High Court judges are calling for the resignation of Chief Justice Ivor Archie. The judges took issue with Archie taking a 6-month sabbatical to rest, reflect, and study, a move they felt was untimely and inappropriate. He applied for the leave in November, which was granted by the president. Some now question the president's authority to do so. Speaker of St. Lucia House of Assembly, Leonie Theodore John, has resigned after serving nearly 2 years in that position. Theodore John told St. Lucia Times that she offered her resignation as Speaker effective March 1, 2018. Theodore John explained that she is hoping to take up the job as Minister Councillor at St. Lucia's High Commission in London. Venezuela's opposition is calling for a national protest on March 17th. The group is rallying against the presidential election planned for May 20th. Most opposition parties are boycotting the election on the grounds that it does not provide conditions for a fair vote, noting that various opposition groups have been outlawed. And in international news, today, India's Supreme Court has issued a landmark ruling allowing passive euthanasia, declaring that individuals have the right to die with dignity under strict guidelines. The court now permits citizens to draft a living will that specifies that life support not be given in the case of coma. Passive euthanasia allows the withdrawal of medical treatment with the intention to quicken the death of a terminally ill patient. On Thursday, President Donald Trump agreed to meet with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un after Kim pledged to stop nuclear tests and move towards denuclearization. Donald Trump confirmed the move in a tweet last night. Kim Jong-un talked about denuclearization with the South Korean representatives, not just a freeze. Also, no missile testing by North Korea during this period of time. Great progress being made, but sanctions will remain until an agreement is reached. A meeting is planned. According to Secretary of State Rex Tillerson, Trump has wanted to meet with Kim for a long time. And finally, UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, Prince Zayed bin Ra'ad Zayed Al Hussein, urges the United Nations to investigate Myanmar for crimes against the Rohingya. In the past, he has described Myanmar's campaign against the Rohingyas as a textbook case of ethnic cleansing. He also urges the country to allow monitors into the restricted areas to investigate allegations of genocide. Reporting for Channel 2 Headline News, I am BB Bacchus.
And now for your 7-day weather forecast. Here's this week's bridge retraction schedule and today's foreign currency exchange rates. And that's Channel 2 headline news for this Friday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to find Channel 2 headline news on Facebook and YouTube. You can also tune in Sunday morning at 6:30 for a rebroadcast and Monday evening at 7 o'clock for more news. For now, I'm George Gonzalez signing out for this newscast, saying thank you for welcoming us into your homes and do have a blessed weekend.